Loves the sun. Who cares that it makes plants grow? Who cares anymore since you broke my heart? Bum 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 bum. Who loves the sun? Bum 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 bum. Not everyone. Who cares what it does since you broke my heart? Bum 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 bum. Who loves the sun? Who cares anymore since you broke my heart? Bum 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 bum. Who loves the sun? Bum 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 bum. Not everyone. Ah, all right. Guten Morgen. I had an interesting experience last night. Somebody caught me like bitching and moaning constantly that my life was over and wanted to make it better. And just sent me like a raft of money. Whew. Yeah, it's some real squeaky real wheel gets the grease. Ran into some thieves from Fang earlier. Oh shit. Thieves from Fang. That reminds me a little bit of there is one of these stories has some thieves from a town called Fang also. But ugh. But I don't know. What's that mean? Thieves from Fang. Does that ring a bell? Yeah, yeah. Like I wrote a huge ass story called Loam. It's like 240,000 words. Um, and there's like a thieves guild in this town called Fang. Um, and then, but it's probably not what you're talking about because it's not public. Like nobody has that story unless Spaethiwa gave it to you, which he really shouldn't have. Mm. God damn. Yeah, I cannot believe. Did I? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm like old enough where, to me, like getting that amount of money sent to me. Charlotte was ruminating about thieves from Fang just earlier. Ah, where the hell? It must have been in the initial scene where I'm just trying to think of where he does that in Arcanist, because that's the only book that's publicly released for Arcanist. Picked out something obscure to see if you pick it. Yeah, it's all part of a consistent fantasy world. Um, in the initial, like it was, I guess it would have had to be a trilogy. In the initial trilogy for this story, the adventurers wind up in a town called Fang, which is the city of dogs. Dogs are sacred there, and then just the streets are like completely covered in dog shit and dogs howling all the time, and everybody has fleas. But the Fang is ruled by kind of like a god king, and their priesthood. The like demigod type figure is constantly riding on their consciousnesses, like directing them and purging heretics and so forth. And the party gets in a tangle with this motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Priest review forum. IRS 709 and all instructions related to gift tax. Oh, why does somebody always have to bring those fucking people up? It's almost not enough money that I could just fucking vanish to I don't know, like some other country, preferably on another hemisphere, and not worry about any of this horse shit. Oh. But yeah, I can remember most of the stuff about this fantasy world because I've just been working on it for years and years and years. That I don't think that story will ever get written. Like the rewrite that we're doing here for RAPAXORIS is so difficult, right? And rewriting Loam would be fucking impossible because like where this is like how good I was 5 years ago, which is not that great. Loam is like what I was, how good I was when I was first starting off, and I'm always stunned by it because like the woman who I used to do a lot of my editing with, who's like a very smart lady, always wanted me to go back and rewrite Loam. She's like, I just love the story and was entranced by it, but to me it just seems no fucking good. And I know it would like just you see the work that we're doing on this, right? We're gonna spend like a year working on Rapazoris. The work to get Loam in workable shape is fucking staggering. Yeah, it's like enough to break a man just thinking about it. So I don't know what to do. But yeah, like I'm trying to think of what other stories get into that section of the whole thing. Maybe it's mentioned somewhere else in Arcanist. Oh, if you read Xanon Inc., which is the if you read Xanon Inc., which is my like dark, erotic fantasy, like whatever, set in a jungle full of malicious and super intelligent insects. If you read that one, they talk about a thieves guild called the Scorpions of Iran, which is it's like a misnomer because there are no scorpions in Iran. It's just a retarded name for a thieves guild, and where basically some guys were like, we should have a thieves guild, and they like make like jackets and jerseys and go about trying to steal shit, but none of them have any idea how to be thieves, and it's just a comedy of errors. I'm so allergic to whatever the trees are doing right now. I think maybe they're maple. I don't know if they're maple trees or whatever trees are covered right now with like these kind of greenish white flowers. I had dinner last night at a tapas restaurant, and the whole time, little flowers were like falling down on us because we were like right under one of these trees. I don't know, maybe it's an oak tree or something like that. I should really know the type of tree, but they're in full flower right now. Today is July fucking 29th, and just constantly flowers were falling on top of us throughout this entire meal, and it was enchanting. Hopefully they weren't poisonous, but yeah, I'm fucking suffering. But it doesn't matter. We're gonna wobble our way through it. But yeah, like I should know what trees those are. I don't know if they're like maple or spruce or oak or I can't tell the difference between trees. But as I'm getting older, like I'm more like noticing things about trees where I can like pick out like, this one's different from that one, and blah blah blah. But the like concept isn't tied to a word in my mind. Whereas all my life, like, I've been able to be like, oh yeah, that's a pinkback wood thrush, boner biter. Yeah, like they're wingless birds only in South Africa. Animals have already been. This happens like when I first wake up, and it happens in the later part of the year, and goes on all the way into the fucking winter, and just the whole time when I'd be like writing at a coffee shop or whatever, I'd be like constantly blowing my fucking nose all winter long, and I don't know why, but it's just how my how my fucking. It didn't used to be this way. This is something that crept up in me in my advancing age, right there. So anyhow, yeah, I now have a significant sum of money, and I need to think of something amazing that I can do for the show with it, right? Because it's show money. Like, I already have bought like everything that I want for myself. So I'm like, for that amount of money, I can hire somebody to work on the show at like $100 a week for a year, right? That's not nothing, right? Like a year, and that's a pretty decent chunk of change that I could just hire somebody. I could literally pay somebody that weighs 400 fucking pounds to show up every day and just hold a sign that says "Free Tibet," like stand in the background for the entire fucking show, and it's a good wage. So Stratum has a condition where his nose runs when he eats food as if it was spicy. Eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a drippy nose. Wow. So, question: if you take something like Zyrtec or fucking Claritin or one of those immune system suppressors, um, and eat, does that still happen, or is the histamine totally unrelated to those pills? Because from time to time, I will like I try not to take any pills if I can help it. One, because I don't want to become dependent on like have a pill. I'm already like pretty in deep to melatonin at this point. But the other part of it is like I found as I was taking like Claritin or whatever, it would just slowly make me depressed, right? Impractical. Yeah, I'm too old to. It's unrelated. Tried anti-allergy stuff. I wonder if it's just specific food or whatever. Like now I will like, want to solve this problem. Like how do we save Stratum from choking down mouthfuls of snot for the rest of his life? Because it's no kind of fate for any man, woman, or yeah. Well, in terms of the practicality and so forth, the show is kind of like a service to everybody on FNet, right? It's one of the things that keeps our like persistent culture alive, and by soaking up all this money, I'm also soaking up responsibility to keep the show going and to have like something that's entertaining and to build something that like keeps this group of people together and keeps that excitement going. One of the reasons why I'm so worried about the lack of FNet News is FNet News was a critical part of what was going on. It was like keeping everybody in the loop. It's like, hey, this thing happened. It made it feel like things are going on and you're a part of it right there. And without Eraser, it's just all falling apart right there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him back into the cut or whatever there. And the primary reason why I'm still doing this after all these years is like, one, I love doing it. Like I was born to do this. But two, I can't pay my rent without it. Like I just, I'm very dependent on the money from the show. And it's enough to motivate me. Like, I don't want to do a show. Like I had one night where I was like fucking miserable. And I'm like, I don't want to do a show. Like, I feel terrible. The mixer's dead. I keep buying these fucking mixers. They keep dying on me. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do a show anyways. Boom. That night, Jira sent me enough money to buy a new mixer. He's just like, have this, you fucking tramp. And I'm like, yes, sir. But, like to a lot of people, it's just a stupid show that's on Friday night. Like only 100 people listen to it ever at most. But to the people that like watch it every week, it's a big fucking deal. And like there are like a few fans where they super look forward to it, and I want to keep it going for those people. Anyhow. Yeah, it's such a weird fucking thing. I'll tell you what was really strange to me, right? So in the middle of like you were there last night for that crazy fucking wondrous gift of money that we received from a very unexpected source. So as I'm just talking to people like, hey, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about how the day went, my like hopes for this big meeting that I have tomorrow, like other schemes that I'm like brewing up to do with them. As I'm doing this, there's some retard in the chat who's just spamming links to, I think it was like, it wasn't like sissy hypnosis, but it was like some kind of gay porn. It's like some kind of gay sissy porn, right? And he's just like rejoining the channel and spamming, and he's doing it in like a non-automated way, right? He's just on NordVPN and he's joining new clients and he's manually like up and entering, and he has two different clients there, and with a third client, he's doing some shit like, "Oh, why'd you devoice me for no fucking reason? I challenge you to a rap battle." All these stupid things, right? He's doing like this very what we would call like baby trolling in the background, right? So they're like baby trolling in the back. Nobody's really paying attention to them. We're just devoicing them and continuing our conversation. And um, so that person is doing like some of the same kind of like low level annoyance trolling that I and other, although we were better at it. We were always better at it, but they were like trying to do some of the same type of stuff that I was doing in like the GNAA. And while they're just creating nothing whatsoever and being a detraction, I'm continuing the sort of legacy that I've built here of broadcasting and like generating some kind of interesting concept or content on IRC. How interesting it is going to be up to the individual. So I'm doing that, right? I'm operating at this relatively high level of like building dynamics, and we're carrying off like we do like a different crazy troll every week, and I've like built up to doing this thing, and you can just see me operating at this level where like if I wanted to, I could probably take a year off right now, and just hitchhike around the country and like find myself again just on that money. Like I could make that money stretch for an entire year. So I could live for a year. It'd be a shitty year, but I could do it. I could live for a year off of what I was doing right there, and the other person is just shitting into the buffer, and nothing will ever come of it, and everything. So I was struck. It was like a beautiful dichotomy for me. So Stratum says, I 100% agree about FNet News making you feel part of something. LRH does a very similar thing. It makes FNet feel like a thing that has more of its culture. I was talking about this a little bit. So at dinner last night, I turned over to the person that I was with, and I said, "Hey, you see, don't look behind you, but to your right, they're on a first date, and it's going really well for him, right? Because she is definitely on the hook. She's excited. She's like telling him about her dreams." She like brought her laptop out at some point. It was like showing him something that she had worked on, and she was super proud and so forth. And I was like, that guy is 100% going to get laid tonight for the first time. And he was like this dark, nilotic black dude. And I think she was some kind of Puerto Rican, which isn't relevant to the story, but just to give you an idea of the beautiful palette of individuals right there. And then you have my like chalky white, still black, but very, very pale black ass right there. And sitting across from somebody like from a completely different culture entirely. And so this is going on, and I'm listening to the way that he's talking, and I realize he doesn't realize he's on a date. He has no idea, just from like his posture and like as he's speaking, I can hear him talking the same way that he talked to his friends in college, right? You can just hear like a little bit of that. There's some frat in the back of his voice, and it actually sounded like very non-stereotypical, and you could tell he worked in some kind of fucking marketing type situation where it's appropriate to talk in the way that he talked. Mm-hmm. And then so all that shit is going on, and we got into a conversation about how and she was like, it's weird that you like picked up on all that shit. And when I talked to her, I'm like, I'm always looking for the story in something, right? Like every conversation has a story behind it if you're willing to dig deep. It's like she's seething with resentment because he never listens to her ideas, and he is oblivious because he's thinking about his mistress and the fact that she's pregnant, and can he convince her to get an abortion? And the waiter really fucking needs another bump, but he's worried because his heart is racing, and he thinks people can tell. Like all that shit is going on in the background, 24/7 in the city. And if you just like pause for a second and can get past yourself, and there's something about like having just like a major defeat or whatever that gives you like some time to like stop and reflect and pay attention to things that aren't you, because really anything is a better alternative. Which anyhow, not to get too into it, but so my while we're on our blogging spree, the experiment of uninstalling Steam and League of Legends and just working on marketing was kind of a huge success yesterday. I had greatly underestimated the amount of my mana that was being fucking continuously sapped by just playing video games for really, it must have been like 6 hours a day. And it was kind of insidious. Like all these games are like 15-minute games or 30-minute games. So you just like, all right, we'll take a break from work and play a game. And you wind up doing that fucking 6 hours a day. And then by like 2 o'clock, I would just be like, I don't want to do anything. And I was just like, maybe I need to drink more coffee, blah, 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 blah. But when I stopped playing the games, I actually was able to get like a good probably 6 hours of straight work in yesterday on personal projects while doing my other job remotely at the moment. So if you go to zachzyz.com, let's take a look at what I got done yesterday. So I added, hi, I'm ZachZYZ. I added this little social block so you can see all my like fucking Twitter or whatever. And then I love the like, yeah, well, and another thing. So I got this happening yesterday. I updated my Patreon. I created this mailing list. Oh, I still need to fucking fix that. But I created a mailing list, and then I updated this page to be the About Me, and I have my press kit there. Oh, look at this fucking character right there. I updated the Zeros page a little bit. I signed up on Zeros for a couple of different sites. One is... and I updated this live streams thing right here. So you could see like the special thanks to the squadron right there. There's Big Logic, the Edit Ace, the coveted hat. What hair has got to go? Like this fucking hair? I don't know. And then, so we just got some giant fucking links there. I'm not a great web designer or whatever, but it'll do. So I updated that page, and I submitted Zeros for a couple of different review services. So this is kind of like a critical part of my strategy. A book needs reviews. Or like, think if you go on Amazon and you see a book and there are no fucking reviews for it, you're like, you know, like I'm not gonna watch this. A book needs reviews, but it is impossible to get people to review a book. There used to be like a lot of book reviewing blogs where people would check shit out. Nowadays, they're not really that many. It's very difficult because there's so many authors and so few reviewers. The one in the GIF? No, hold on. My hair was so fucking long there. Hold on. Yeah, where it's like, it gives you like constantly in my fucking eyes and everything. I look like a fucking mod rocker from 19 fucking what have you. I forget where the mods were. But I live stream every day. And then I put all the RAPAXORIS files into a playlist. And, oh yeah, there's Big Spathy What. And, oh, you can tell I just really needed a fucking haircut right there. So, anyhow, all these things that I've been meaning to do for a while, and it just turned out that I was like hooked on some fucking dopamine loop of just playing video all day, every day. So we'll see what comes of that. But so I did some tuning up on that site. I'm going to try and work on the LRH site today. The other big news is that I scored a gigantic fucking interview. I look like an emo beatnik. No, he probably doesn't know. I scored a gigantic interview with the guy who runs a Facebook group called 20 to 50K, which is, I should realize how that is. So there's a Facebook group for independent authors where they say that if you put out 20 books, you can get to where you're making $50,000 a year on book sales. So far, I have 5 books out, and I can tell you that I am not making 25% of $50,000 on book sales a year. I don't think I break $100 a year, just between us. But the idea is that when you have like an established body of work that's available on Amazon, it doesn't really matter what the quality is. You'll find enough people who find your kind of style of thing interesting that they will voraciously read your shit, and you'll be able to support yourself off of it. I'm not going that like schlock route. That's why we're spending so long on like editing and so forth. I really want to build something that is like super high quality, um, that can transport people to another place, right? I want something that will live on after I'm gone very soon. So that's why we put all the effort into writing and editing and so forth. But in a way, there's a lot to be learned from their approach. Like one, these people know a tremendous amount about different kinds of marketing that's effective with Amazon and so forth. The other, they're constantly like talking about shit that's going on. So I reached out to the guy in charge of this group. It's a Facebook group with like 50,000 people in it, and like said, hey, like, hey, you want to be interviewed on the politics Discord because I do AMAs there. And he was like very receptive to it. He's done other interviews on other platforms and so forth. And the guy's pretty interesting. He's like a former Marine who had been writing science fiction for like a really long time and was getting nowhere with it. And he's like, finally, like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm sick and tired of going to publishers with my hat in my hand. I'm just going to put out my own books and I'll figure this fucking out. And he did figure it out. And now he's quite successful. And they just did like a convention in Vegas, and he's doing like a book tour, like cross country and shit like that. And so I'm interested to find out what he has to say. Basically, anytime somebody's a Marine and so forth, you can have a conversation with them, and they will have some shit to say. You cannot be a Marine, even if you're just deployed onto like fucking, I don't know, Fort Bragg or DLI, or even if you're just deployed stateside and never see any action whatsoever. Holy fuck! Like you will get into some. Marines are just a different breed. So, anyhow. So that's what's going on with me. Yeah, I'll try to. What about the Air Force? Air Force guys will usually have. Like, I've got some pretty fucking ridiculous stories about the Air Force, and I wasn't even in for that long. You know, they didn't like me. But the Air Force's their stories are like a little bit more miserable, because you just have to be fucking batshit insane to join the Marines in the first place. You really, their training is really hard. Their physical requirements are the highest of the services and so forth. And when you sign on as a Marine, everybody qualifies first as infantry. And the idea is like, yeah, if we need to, we're going to throw like fucking anybody in as infantry. And you have to continuously recertify the whole time. Their living conditions are dog shit, right? Compared to like the Air Force, like their defects are fucking terrible. They just live in a barracks all the time. They really do just treat these guys like dog shit. And it's a service for people who have a significant element of masochism in there. Like they're the guys that wear their shoes are always shined, and they like have esprit de corps and so forth. In the Air Force, we're just like fucking around. Like we're just a bunch of dildos trying to get money for college. And you cannot be a Marine and not have drunk a lot of the Kool-Aid. It's just not possible. There were people who were self-aware, like, I am aware that I am drinking this Kool-Aid at the time. Hoorah, Semper Fi, all that. But that doesn't, you can be aware that you're brainwashed and still be fucking brainwashed, right? And it's almost as if I wrote an entire story about this whole thing. Shout out to Zeros right there. Okay, well, let me not, I have to do an important meeting a little bit later today, so let me not burn through all my energies in one whatever. I'm gonna do that there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use that camera. All right. So yesterday, let's start here at what a catch, what a battle, right there. So to remember where we were at, Yellow Hat was just kind of doing his own thing. He wakes up in the dead of the night and thinks that people are outside trying to kill him, and he's like, fuck it, I'm not getting back to sleep anyway. So he goes down to the river to fish and just gets nothing all night, just as the sun is rising. In fact, like, this may be overdone at this point, right? Because I think everything is happening at dawn or sunset here, and the days are just like this whole thing. But the part of it is, those are the rest of the day, these guys are just rowing, trying to get it up there. So let's take a look at that real quick. That's one thing that I'm a little worried about. So So in the previous chapter, Tar Eel. So all this happens. Yeah, this happens to Fish at Dawn, and then the chapters right after that. So you can say that these are like fairly, almost linear but staggered. There. All right. So where was I gonna stop? Besides this shakeless namesake hat. Party road path in the dead of the night. His eyes shoot open. I like all that. It was a big thing. So we've added in this version the rune tower, right? And really, if I was smart, I would have added like some kind of sigil or some kind of signifying. In fact, let's do that right now. Yeah. Sentinel Island. So we give it a name there, Sentinel Island. Stubborn swine, right there. Yeah, we could do something like over the entryway, there could be like some antlers carved into the stone. Yeah, it could be like the number 3. Let's see. No, I don't like that. Yeah. All right, so that's like a little ahead of ourselves right there. I don't have something good, and I'd rather have nothing than have something forced. So All right, let's start here. So this is RAPAXORIS by Zach ZYZ. This is a rewrite. We're on day number 35, read by the author. And this is chapter 1.10. And if you'll excuse me for one moment. Good God. I should fucking bottle and sell author mucus like fucking Belle Delphine's bathwater. I'm sure it'll fly off the fucking shelves. What a catch! What a battle! The gleaming trout thrashed in his grip. Mm-hmm. She thrashed in his grip, and water flew from her iridescent scales. Shoutouts to Yellow Hat, who can immediately determine the sex of a trout just by gandering at it. We went into this in fucking, I think it was Arcanist or something like that. But I think that's like book 4. I should stop talking about Arcanist because like most of the books aren't out right now, so only I know what's going on. The defeated trout thrashed in his grip. Captured. The trout was still not defeated. Oh, I don't like that, yeah. His captive thrashed in his grip. No, yeah, I don't like that. An idea struck him. Yellowhead beamed as he carried his flapping prize into the ruined tower. El Shala and Stirs were half awake beside the fire, trying to make tea. Their eyes bulged at his catch. Hat held a finger against his lips and strolled over to the bedroll where Revel was still snoring. Catch, Yellowhat said. He tossed the fish. The trout smacked against Revel's face and thrashed like mad. Revel hooted with fright and groped for his blade. Mm-hmm. So we need to make this like a little bit more realistic in terms of what would happen. It's so blatant about him coming up with an idea. Still beaming. That's a great idea right there. All right, like I'm gonna, yeah, it's just so much better that way. All right, so boom, here's big 70. Yeah. Oh, you don't get a Z. A grin began to spread across his face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a great one. Is it That's one of the places like I really struggle is like with overtelling and so forth, and not letting the reader have time to like anticipate. Like, I wonder what the fuck is going to happen. So we're always looking for avenues where we can like cut out like a little bit, and then the reader can have that feeling of like, oh shit. The fuck is that? Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh God. I gotta make sure to start early today, so I want to clean up the studio a little bit before before I'm on like this meeting. Ooh. Gotta like put on a shirt and everything. Whoa. It's gonna be ridiculous. I should hook up a mouse. All right, many things need to be done. Okay. Does the drama ever stop in Big Smoke? Oh, that's not drama. That's just like work I need to do. Whew. Um, yeah, I think hopefully the drama is done because nobody involved in it will ever speak with each other again. Their eyes bulged at his catch. Hat held a finger against his lips and strolled over to the bedroll, where Revel was still snoring. Revel was still snoring. Catch, Yellowhat said. He tossed the fish. It really is like so flopping prize. Their eyes bulge. I don't understand why everything that we write on stream just turns into like borderline pornography. But I don't think that it's not like a bad way to have it. Like all the little like smirking innuendos that are in this story thus far, let's just fucking leave them, right? Because honestly, even if I can't sell this one to a major publisher, like I'm fine. I just publish this one myself. And to me, it's kind of funny, and it may just be that everybody like editing just has a filthy fucking mind. But it really does sound like, hey, ladies, look what I found by the river. Boing. Oh, I love that. This is constant. I really need that wet thwack. He's gonna sell this one to a big publisher. Honestly, like, it's fine if they don't pick it up. Like, I'm really going to enjoy the typesetting of this one, because I want to have like all like stony borders, and I want to have like let's hold on. Let's So this is Death Trap Dungeon, but let's try and find the original book, right? Oh, they made a card game for Eidos? Wow. Oh, this is like one of the later printings and so forth. I should actually get a copy of the original one. Here we go. So you can sort of see. Vote for the next fighting fantasy class a little bit, but see this like high contrast black and white style. Let me try and find this because this was like a huge. Wait, Manticore. Was this? Oh yeah, this is definitely in. So Steve Jackson Games put these books out, right? Okay, so here are some of the illustrations. I want to, and I can work with like some artists that I've had on Fiverr. It is a choose your own adventure. You used to have a paperback Death Trap Dungeon. That was absolutely you remember the helmet that, God, these are fucking crazy right here. Like the crown that drives you crazy, and like, oh, there was the dwarf and the barbarian that you have to fight. Just all these different things. This is the illustration style that I remember this, the Pit Fiend right here, and it's just a fucking Tyrannosaurus. And then your adventure ends here. You had to like find all these different things, but oh, I remember this where you could like pry the eye off of the idol. Oh, good, Apache is functioning normally. That's good to see. This is a later cover of it. It wasn't the original cover. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if we can find the first edition. This is it, right here. Look at this guy's big fucking nose. I should buy, oh, and this one too, the Warlock of Fire at the Top Mountain. Hold on. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's only fucking 20 bucks. It's mine. It's a little roughed up there, but yeah, you can see a little bit better here. This is the edition that I had right there. The like, I won all that. The like, frame, and so oh, look at the interior. Yeah, so there's the troll or whatever. It's this very old style of illustration. This is how I want Rapasaurus to be set up. Yeah, the T-Rex is smiling, and look at the schnoz on their friendly banker stand-in. Jesus. And then there's the Sturge and the like the orc and everything. God, it's fucking amazing. Loving it. Throne of Evil. So that's cool. I should get a copy of that. But yeah, that was like when I was a kid. I loved those books. Like read through them and you fucking cheat and like, oh, I died. Flip, 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 flip. I don't think I ever actually bothered with like all the dice, even as a kid. I was just like, this is stupid. But I think I did try the dice on a similar series called like Lone Wolf. I read a bunch of those books too. I had like the standard Choose Your Own Adventures, and there were some other ones that were not Choose Your Own Adventure. They were like another off comp. But anyhow, that's going to be the illustration style that I want to do for so I already have like ideas on how I want the typesetting to go. Because remember, Rapasaurus, this story was originally a triple-threaded choose-your-own-adventure story, and it only branched when somebody made an ethical decision. Later in the story, you'll see like the first major branch was like one that Rigel, he had to make a decision. And the thing is that what I quickly learned is that it's exponential in difficulty. Like every thread that you add to something just creates so much more, and it was just like I don't want to spend like 20 years working on this story. If you think about a game like Mass Effect or something like that, where they'll have like 2 or 3 million words of dialogue in there, it's because they have all these branching narratives. Anyhow. Chaos erupted. I want chaos erupted. Yeah. In utter confusion, Revel bolted upright with his blade bared and yeah, that's no good. The Manticore's head looks like the Arcanist. Does it? Let's take a gander. I think I bought it again and got that edition, which I didn't like. I'll try to get the first one. Let's take a look at this Manticore. Yeah, it definitely does have like a. Manticores don't usually have human faces, as far as I know, but this one definitely does. It's got like a Sphinx thing going on. Manticores don't usually, as if like there's a real Manticore or whatever. Worth playing the hero of Death Trap Dungeon. Oh, here's like a game version of this guy. The class. Oh, I remember this guy. He's got like the scroll in his hand and like the fucking scale mail armor and everything. Just when you were a kid, that was like, oh, this is so cool. It's like, so. I think fantasy has like a lot more appeal for people who are younger. For the most part, really, like fantasy books are most applicable to people who are like, I want to say they're like age like 12 to maybe 20. Um, and so that's usually when I write fantasy. That's the age group that I'm sort of writing for. Arcanist was like a little different because it was written for like an older crowd, which is rare. It's very rare. I think the only other fantasy that I would consider like written towards that age bracket is stuff like R. Scott Bakar, where he's definitely writing for adults. Probably the guy that does the Mazalan or Mazlatan or whatever the fuck it is. And definitely Mervyn Peake was not writing for children, um, but yeah, I'd say like most of the fantasy that's out there is essentially just YA. The first books I remember reading, Mazalan. Yeah, I really have to like plow through that shit, but it's so hard. Firestarter by Stephen King. Then Dune is the next one I recall. Robin Hood, then About Animals. Huh. Big Stephen King. Uh, All right. The trout smacked against Revel's face with a wet thwack. Startled, he groped for his sword and hooted in terror. Uh, so you wouldn't really hoot from, yeah, like, you don't have full control of your faculties when you get hit by a wet fish. Need a nap, falling asleep. Brain has quit the scene. Oh, that's all right. I feel the same way many a time. But I'm going to try and finish this chapter today. So, uh, yeah, enjoy your nap. Whew. And wish me luck on my grand scheme later today. I hope that shit works out. It'd be nice. Mm, what? Revel blurted in utter confusion. Yeah, that's all we need. Yeah. With a cry of alarm, he grew for his sword and scrambled to his feet. This is also me every time I wake up. With a cry of alarm, he groped for his sword and scrambled to his feet. Revel squinted about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to take out that to his feet thing. With his blade drawn and a gasping fish dying at his feet, Revel blinked in utter confusion. What? Right. He blurted. It's a fish. Cook it, Yellowhat ordered. She's like, Inshallah held a hand over her mouth. Cook your own fucking fish. Inshallah watched Revel's cheeks color and held a hand over her mouth. Cook your own fucking fish. Mouth gaped. Oh, what's up, Bunk Power? Do I say mouth gape somewhere? Inshallah watched Revel's cheeks color and held a hand over her mouth. Mm-hmm. Catchers don't cook, Yellow Hat replied. Unperturbed by the waving sword. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You guys must be super fucking bored this morning. Hopping in on the editing stream. All right, hold on. Let me see. Somebody message yours truly. AAA says, Yellow Hat slash slapped Revel in real life. I'm so glad that people picked up on that. It's just for IRC users. Hold on. Somebody hollered at me in the Blowjob Rogaine. Someday I hopefully have time to check out one of these. All right. All right. So somebody says someday I hopefully have time to check out one of your editing streams, and I just said like, yeah, it's just a weird thing that I do, but it's fun, and it just winds up being like 90% dick jokes, really and truly. Oh, yeah. I wonder if Faulkner ever had this problem. Elsa snickered through her fingers. You can remove then. Oh, did I just do that as you were typing that? If J.R.R. Tolkien wrote on YouTube, it would have been Lord of the G String. And then what do we got? Fagin Riders of Pern. Jonathan Revel Ramos Token was in fact a pimp IRL and a true lord of the G strings. Okay, so I think we did remove then from his booming laugh. I'm gonna give that to Spathy right there. Use all the help I can give him. He's so behind. He's really not that behind. Oh. What do we got? The once and future cuck. Um, I'm like, I really shouldn't spend the whole day thinking of sex names for fucking fantasy novels. But I think once you start, you can never ever stop. The lion, the bitch, and the wardrobe. Ugh, it's not good. This one you don't even need. The elf stones of Shannara. Oh god, as good as is. Dick's World. I feel like that fucking guy on Family Feud. Oh no, y'all. I like that. So here's a good spot to take. Uh, Here's a spot where he has to show some grace in defeat. I think because it's not great to just make him the butt of every single joke and so forth. Yeah. He knew it. At last, he sheepishly sheathed his sword and ignited another fit of giggling. I won't do it, Revel maintained. Mm-hmm. 2021, the cis white male is always the butt of jokes. Everybody in this scene is a cis white male, especially El Shala. No, everybody in this story is fucking white. There are no black people in Laz. That's why it's a fantasy. No, that's gonna get me in so much trouble someday. Oh, God. And somebody will like go dig in. He said what? I don't know if we can have him on our diversity and inclusion panel. Oh, whatever, man. It's fucking. It's more of like a economic. Like, of course, the rich person is a fucking dunce. He'll redeem himself somewhat later, maybe. We can write that out. I don't cook, Revel muttered. Those who do not work shall not eat, stirred. I never agreed to that stupid tradition, Revel complained. That's how tradition works. No one agrees, but all obey, Hat mused. Triumph made him philosophical. Mm-hmm. Oh, here's a fucking opportunity for me right here. Cool. Um, so here's a spot where I can set up this. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's not make this like fucking slapstick, but I do want this to be a part where it reinforces the dynamic that the two had earlier. Wait. Every show has a comedy episode. I guess it's true. Like, what was the comedy episode in Breaking Bad? It's fucked up that like the when you think about like Breaking Bad episodes, you always think about the fucking fly. Like that's the first one that leaps into your mind. It's by far the worst episode. It's fucking terrible. But it's something about it. Just the fly as a mechanism works so well. Mm. X Files had one every season, pretty much. I can't remember much about the X Files. I think I can remember like 2 episodes total of it. Like one where they find that they've been pumping LSD into Mulder's water supply, and another one which I really liked. Oh, I guess 3 episodes. The one, the where it's like sweats gasoline. That man, the guy that like was like the fire starter or whatever that smelled like gas. I can remember bits of that, and I liked the one where there was like a swarm of insects that were like fucking sewing up guys in the Pacific Northwest and like cocooning them or whatever. That was kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't. X Files and Breaking Bad had the same writer and producer. I didn't know that. That's fucking crazy right there. Breaking Bad was superb. X Files, it was like I remember watching it back in the day, but uh, I don't know how well it would hold up nowadays. Maybe it's still good. But yeah, I was like young when I watched them, and like I can barely remember them now. Among others, shit. Yeah, and Breaking Bad is like a fucking triumph right there. Um, I'd put it like up there. Like it's pretty close to The Wire in terms of TV shows that I think are excellent. Let me see. So we're there. Fish is capitalized. Okay, so all this is just getting fucking cut right there. All the tobacco leaf and everything. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, I kind of like that whole thing. Yeah, so I could... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So we can end the chapter there. And we can cut out some of the exposition that we have later in the chapter there. Because I think it's all said right there. Um, so we have his triumph there. Later, let's look at what we're. Oh, I already got that. I'm on top of it there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she can just acknowledge. Yeah, I don't like appreciating the wordplay. That's too telly. Cool. And it's not a pun. Well, I guess it's a pun because he's indicating revel. I wonder if that tracks with all the words that we removed. Revel glared at her. For a moment, it looked as if he might hurl the fish. Instead, he dropped his stare, scooped up the pot, and hurried down to the river. Quite the catch, Yellowhide grinned. Clever bard. um, yeah, we could just do said. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure that we don't have a smirk elsewhere. Clever bard. So smirk is wrong, right? It's the wrong verb here. There we go. Smirk said whatever you're using there. So it'd be nice if there was like a word that meant she caught what he was doing right there. I'm not sure that it really comes across as a joke right here. And the problem is when we start to analyze something that's meant to be a joke, it's not going to be funny to us because like, uh, that's problemo. But let's think about her right here. Clever bard. I don't keep him around for his brains. Let's take a look. I could say she granted. Yeah. Assumed. Acknowledged. Confirmed. What? That's weird. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, granted is too far removed. and she enjoys like so here she's in the role where she enjoys a good pun. Um, she like luxuriated in the pun. Uh, so I think the original was oh perfect. Elshallah approved. Yeah, there we go. Approved is perfect. Damn, listen to that thunderous smack of approval right there. Clever bard, Elshallah approved. I don't keep him around for his brains. So, I don't know about the comma there, right? So he does well. El Shala snorted, covered her face, and began to laugh again. El Shala snorted in surprise and cracked up again. There we go. Yeah, it didn't work great. I hear you. So a moment later, they were all laughing again. El Shala snorted in surprise. The ruined tower rang out with laughter. Better. I like that a lot. Okay, so what are we losing here? We take out this tea was warm. We take out, yeah, I'm happy at that. So they don't talk about how they're getting closer. We cut out this whole thing. So here's, and it's too, traveling was good for him. There was a worker in Stirs. So this I'm going to cut and comment this. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to comment out this whole... So this used to be the ending of the... What are you fucking doing, Shant? Two began to argue. Yeah, I'm not unhappy with this cut. Yeah, so I don't mind losing the copper pot because... So the one thing that we lose is like very expository, where Yellow Hat is like wondering, like, Stirs could have been like the foreman of a farm or some shit like that had he not been there. All that can be sliced, right? Because it's just me telling the reader what to think, and it'd be much better to, like, it's a great sentiment, right? The idea, but Yellow Hat has done enough fucking musing in this chapter, so I'm very solid on just cutting that part there, and that means that we actually finish a fucking chapter. Who would have thought we could do it? Believe it or not, we're done with the chapter. I just fucking deleted the comment. God damn it. Yeah, like, alright, so the problem there, yeah, why did, alright, let's try and get the, we just, here, there, command control, command function page, cool. Yeah, we just need the comment to be back up there. Habit forming, chapter finishing. I hope that's it. Well, the other part of it too is like, I think we're making a mistake in doing too much revisiting in the previous chapters, where we're really doing like 3 or 4 passes on every chapter. In truth, they needed the 3 or 4 passes, right? But it's, we'll be here for fucking years if we do that. I like where this went a little bit better. So now we can write our synopsis for what went down. So let's see. Okay. So, and in fact, I should write the synopsis starting here because it's blacked up on the cloud and not whatever. What did I have a new? God. I love the smell of delayed blast fireball in the morning. Smells like Majory. All right, so 1.10. Uh, no. No, no, no. Yeah, okay, this is where we were. I don't know why I made a new one. Yeah. By the way, I looked at the zeros in design. There's no content changes in the source, so I'm keeping the markup, but we use the updated PDF and IDML to add real page numbers. I expect it'll be done this week. Fantastic. Yeah. And by all means, like, let me know if you ever would like some kind of financial compensation or any kind of thing that I can do from you. You just do like so much work on that. I feel it's fucking amazing right there. So I don't know if you were here when I was talking about all the stuff that I did yesterday, but I've submitted the existing EPUB for reviewers on ReadC, and I'm trying to do something called Book Sirens right there. So I'm providing those EPUBs and a Mobi and some other stuff. The Mobi looks good right now, as is. But yeah. Emboldened. So, dispirited and short on supplies, El Shalah's party is on the verge of turning back when Yellowhat discovers a campfire left by Rigel and Fush. Emboldened, they redouble their efforts to catch the refute. Yeah, we can take out emboldened. This is a summary, so this is not good for a summary. They redouble their efforts to catch the fugitives. There. Yeah, cool. So that's what you were talking about right there. Dispirited and short on supplies, El Shalah's party is on the verge of turning back when Yellowhat discovers a campfire left by Rigel and Fish. The pursuers redouble their efforts to catch the fugitives. Not expecting any compensation. Well, keep in mind, like, I just want it to be like a two-way street. Like, I really hope that there's somewhere where I can similarly help you at some point right there. I'm sure at some point in your life you'll have like a crazy project where hopefully I can help out there. Or if like anybody needs citizenship or a fucking visa or anything from Los Estados Unidos, I can make it fucking happen. But yeah, like I owe you big time in my mind. Ooh, yeah, did you hear what happened on fucking LRH yesterday? Somebody sent me $5,000. I'm still like a little bit stunned. We'll see if that clears. But what the fuck? They felt bad that my life was in ruins, and that's fucking amazing. But yeah, I also like the other part of it is like you're doing fucking amazing work. I took a look at the EPUB that we have, and it's just fucking gorgeous. Like just the layout, the way that the Chinese poems are on like a different thing. They really look fucking amazing. When I look at these books and I look at like a professionally published ebook, the only difference is that like we have like a little bit of a sense of humor in what we're doing. Like there's kind of like a smirking, like yeah, we're based on a true story, like that kind of shit. It really is there. Yeah, no WTF, like 5 fucking grand. Um, I'm stunned. But again, it might not be for real. Like it could be like a chargeback. It could be like a plot. It could be a lot of different things, right? And I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but I want to do something big that greatly increases the enjoyment that the show can provide to people. And whether that's like hiring somebody or because really, like you could pay $100 a week for a year based on that. I could probably buy like a shitty van and fill it with like God knows what, I really need to think hard on that. We could literally, I could almost open like a storefront and do the show out of that. As crazy as that fucking sounds. I really got to think hard on it right there, but I'm open to ideas too. If you have any ideas that like throwing money at could help, like I will consider it because it's found money. You have to do something enjoyable with it or whatever. There. All right, so that's fucking crazy though, right? Uh, and I was telling people earlier, but like while that was going on, while I'm like talking to people and like have this whole thing going on, people were like in the background spamming links to gay porno, and all of us are just like having a conversation and so forth, and they're trying so hard to get a reaction from people, while I'm getting this reaction that people are giving me fucking scads of money for running my troll radio show, and just something about the contrast between those two things happening at the same time. Mwah. So I thought you might enjoy that one right there. I don't want to like gloat about getting a pile of money, but it was a rough fucking week, and it was uh, sorely needed by me, and like oh, pretty happy about it. All right, well anyhow, I'm gonna clean up the studio. We're pausing a little bit early, but finish the chapter. It's all part of the show. It really is all part of that crazy fucking show right there. I'm gonna pay a terrible price for it at some point, but at the same time, having a good time. All right, I'm okay with this synopsis right there. If you didn't catch it, the other thing is that that guy that runs 20 books to 50K, I'm doing an interview with him on I think August 3rd on the Politics Discord, or I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna set that up today, and then here? Let's pop this into here. So that's happening, and then I'm working on not that. Here, save changes. RAPAXORIS, the story thus far. Okay, so we're saving those changes, and yeah, we did some good work today. All right, so now we can go back and figure out how much we got done here. I'm sad that Milkness was not here to just see that little sort of wordplay between those two. She would have appreciated the crazy femdom aspect of it right there, because that's how he's wired, man. So we could hammer that point a little harder, I think. I don't think it's immediate. Like if somebody missed the scene at the tower, they won't understand like why that's happening. Why he doesn't just like trout, bitch. But no, that's not how their relationship works. He's a boy lost in a man's game. All right, so the total for this chapter is going to be fucking day 35. we go. Right here. Live fucking streaming. That's going to be 2 hours and 5 minutes. Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining in. Yeah, it's just, I did not anticipate that things would go this way, but yeah, I have like some exciting developments on the horizon, and I owe it all to quitting video games. Really and truly. All right, let me holler at this work and figure out how I'm gonna do my important Zoom meeting, and yeah, we'll see what's what. Later, everybody.